Hello. So in this video, we are speaking about uh, what we do with our color dive. So I've got all of my colors that I've pulled from magazines that are based on my color story. And so the next step is to create these little bags of color that I'm using. So I wanted a few different shades of gold, so I've got a few started here. I'm still working on gold, and I see that I've got these gold cans here, and I don't need all of the white and the skin tone in this, so I'm going to cut out around this. And I'm going to put the rest of this page in the bins that are for other people to look through for when they're trying to get a few more colors for their sculptures. So I'll put this in the bin, and then I will go on to work on these. Now, I use my scissors for separating what I want from what I don't, but when it comes to the bits that I want them to be torn. You don't want the cut edge. I mean, you might have a few cut edges, but you want mostly torn edges, and it's just kind of those torn edges meld together better. Now, as I'm tearing these up and looking at the color, I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm not loving that shade of gold. And so when you rip something up and you separate it and you look at it, it might not actually be what you want. So I'm not loving this. I'm going to set it to the side, put it back in my bag. Maybe I will want it later. So I've got another couple here that have a bunch of yellowy gold on them. And I'm going to cut these out, and once again I'll put the black of these pages in the black bin so that somebody else who's needing this black can find it easily. And then once I get something isolated, now black is not in my color story, so I want to make sure that I separate the black from the gold. I just want the gold. And this, for this part, the scissors are they're better. So once I get this area isolated, then I can start tearing up these pieces. Now you want your pieces to be pretty small. And this takes a little while. Now you might find, like, I don't really want the black that are in those. I want the gold. And so you might find that you don't really want to use the pieces that have the wrong colors in with them. And you might find that you don't care too much about it either. So once you get started, you'll kind of have a feeling for what you want, but you want your pieces to be pretty small. And like right here, I really don't want that tan and that brown in there, so I'm gonna cut that out. You're gonna find some pages are easier to get what you want, like right there. That's good. And some pages will be more difficult depending on what's going on. So once I get these all torn up, I'm gonna cut that black off because I don't want black in my color story. You'll just rip them up into small pieces. Now, if a piece is an inch, it's too big. It's just too big, and you need to tear them down smaller. So I'm going to add, I've got some dark gold here, and I've got some light gold, and I'm going to add these to my light gold. And when you go to work, it's just so much easier if your colors are organized, if your palette isn't all mixed up, because then you start wondering, well, did I pick this for, which side of the paper did I pick this for? Did I want it for the green? Like there's pink on that side, right? Of this one. And I don't want pink. I want the gold. So if you organize them into little baggies, then you'll kind of know what you're after. So you're going to just go through all of your colors that you've got and then make yourself a color palette of colors that you can pull from when you start working on the part of this where you're putting your color, you're painting with these colors. So I'm just going through this process again, cutting out what I want from the page, and I'm leaving what I don't, and then somebody else may be able to use all of this. So I'm going to put the rest of this in the tan or the black page. I'm just going to go ahead and chop her head off right there. So I'll go through and I will tear up her dress here. Just going to chop that right there. Look at that beautiful blue and green gradient. So it's okay to layer them on top of each other and rip a few layers at the same time. It kind of speeds things up. But you want your pieces about this size, smaller than a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep working on this. And you want to have all of your color palette taken care of. So like this is too dark, this is black, I don't want this, I'm going to tear it off and throw it away. So I'm going to just tear these. I find tearing in strips like that helps. And then I can stack them and rip up a whole bunch at the same time. And you start to see things a little differently once you've got it separated from the photo it came from. And then it may be that you find that you really like some things, and it may be that you really don't like others. Now, the reason we're not using cut, like we're not cutting them like this, is because when you do this technique, this painting with paper technique, those cut edges don't like meld together because we don't have torn paper fibers. So you really do want these torn edges. It just works a lot better. Things come together easier than the cut edges. And I know that just from working with paper collage for a while and reading a few books from paper collage artists. So now I'm going to grab another baggie, which I don't have here at my desk, and I'm going to start this blue and green bag. But when I work on other colors, like for instance, when I work on this, I will put all of this in my blue bag, right? I'm not going to put all of my blues and greens together. So I'm going to have a blue and green mixed bag, and then I'll have a blue bag and a green bag. I might have a light blue and a dark blue bag. It's okay to really separate your colors out. It'll just make it less frustrating when you're ready to paint with your colors. Okay, go ahead and get ripping and have a good time working on your art project.